Last week, Hannah Roberts became the first American to qualify for Tokyo in BMX freestyle. Now the next goal is to get on the podium. If she gets there, she could be the youngest American cycling medalist since 1912, and she's more than ready for that challenge, more than a century in the making.
It's legit my life. It's the only thing that I think about.
For 10 years now, Hannah Roberts has poured blood, sweat, and tears into her riding. She grew up riding at the Kitchen, owned by her cousin, former BMX pro Brett Banasewicz.
I knew no matter what, I wanted to make it a career.
But early on, Roberts suffered an injury that could have ended her career before it took off.
I broke my back when I was 10.
Even as a kid, Roberts was determined that this was the sport for her.
I mean, I told my dad while I was still laying there, I was like I'm gonna keep riding, and my mom's like freaking out. But it was something that the BMX community is like nothing else. Like, we always have each other's back, and they're all so supportive. So just to see that, I was like, yeah, this is for me.
And it is. At just 18 years old, she's already a two-time world champion.
To see all that hard work pay off and to have my favorite people around me was like unlike anything else, and I'm super blessed that they were all there.
And she really needs that support network. Hannah's training to become an Olympian is no joke. She rides for 5 hours a day, 6 days a week, hits the gym for 2 hours a day, 3 days a week. Then there's cardio every morning. Oh, and that's just the physical training.
When I'm not riding, I watch videos of myself or other people riding just to see ways that I can get better and ways that I could change and do more. So it is a full-time job, and it's everything to me.
Now Roberts hopes to take her talents to new heights, reaching for the gold in the red, white, and blue.
Just to wear USA on my chest, no matter what, it's just a huge honor, but showing it off on the Olympic stage, on the biggest sports stage in the world is like, it's everything that I've dreamed about. I mean, I've always wanted to go to the Olympics. To wear it, to actually like accomplish a dream is something that you can't even describe. It's going to be crazy.
BMX race has been in the game since 2008, centered around speed on a racetrack. But this summer in Tokyo, Hannah's event, BMX Freestyle, will make its Olympics debut.
For us, it's a minute run. We do whatever we want trick-wise and try to use the course. So there is a lot more freedom, and it's not just about speed. It's about speed and style and height and tricks and everything like that.
In April, Roberts heads to Tokyo for a test event and gets to see the course for the first time. After that, she'll train in North Carolina with the rest of Team USA on a custom-made course to match that Olympic one. She's on the brink of history on the world stage, but isn't forgetting her roots.
Buchanan's so small, and not a lot of people know, where Southwest Michigan is, where South Bend is, where Buchanan is. So just to have a chance to, put it on the map, bring people's attention to it is awesome. And obviously, to get more people here riding and to support the park that helped me get to where I was or where I am, just means the world to me. It's awesome.
Wow, it was fun.
The Tokyo Olympics are still 5.5 months away, but Hannah Roberts is thinking even further ahead. She says she still wants to be competing when the 2028 Olympics come home to the USA in Los Angeles. In the studio, Megan Smedley for 16 News Now.
While winter packs a punch across Michiana, many athletes are forced inside to avoid a knockout. Megan Smedley introduces you to one boxer who's breaking barriers one hit at a time.
Boxing is not looked at upon as a female sport.
Don't tell that to Charlene Resendez. She's breaking the status quo.
You can get in the ring and show them what you're made of.
At just 10 years old, she's already making a name for herself in the ring.
You can see in her work that she is dedicated, she's focused, and she's well disciplined, and she loves what she does.
3 years ago, Charlene started participating in the South Bend Police Athletic League boxing program.
When I first got in the ring, I was nervous. I was thinking, am I gonna fail?
Charlene has done a fantastic job. She follows our instructions, and that is, you don't give up, you give 110%. No matter how hard it gets, you can make it through hard work.
But last year, she wanted to take her training a step further.
I wanted to start fighting. and winning and getting trophies.
Now she competes against other girls from across Michiana and has already collected some hardware.
Charlene practices for 3 hours a day, 3 times a week.
With her dad as her coach and community members as her trainers, she's got a full army of supporters.
I love it so much because it feels like I'm not lonely, like I'm here with my dad. It's like they're family to me. I won't do nothing to let them down. Like I would try my hardest and try my best.
And she's got big dreams.
I want to be a really good fighter. I really want to be a professional boxer.
She's also inspiring other young girls in the Police Athletic League.
The other young ladies, they see this and it motivates them to want to come and participate. Now these young ladies, they sit up here, and as you can see, they will hit that bag, hit those mitts pretty hard, they punch hard, they're focused, they're dedicated, and it's all through hard work.
Charlene says all it takes is the courage to get in the ring.
Because then you know, like, you're not gonna fail, you're not gonna fall down or fall off the ring. You're just gonna stay in that ring and keep going.
And that girls can hit just as hard.
Try to accomplish your dreams. Don't give up. Just keep on going.
In South Bend, Megan Smedley, 16 News Now.
You know, playing a sport usually requires good communication, but what happens in a sport when talking takes a backseat?
16 News Now sports reporter Megan Smedley has the story of one Concord swimmer who's reading all the right signs.
He's one of the men, one of the guys.
Ben Reamer has only been swimming for 4 years, but he's already making a splash.
You know, I think he's become a more confident person, athletically, socially, academically, over the last year.
Once, I got the hang of it, I felt like, this is where I belong and this is where I can compete.
There's just one difference with Ben.
I'm human, I'm just like the next person. The only difference is I'm deaf.
The Concord swim team has welcomed Ben with open arms.
Like what we would do with any kid, you want him to feel welcome, part of the team, part of the family. I can feel like he's one with us.
It's good for him to, be in this community and, with this swim team. Each individual is different, but they're all friends, they're all teammates.
Ben grew up in a deaf household, and being a part of the swim team is helping him break out of his shell.
He has to learn how to open up, kind of get out of that shell, not be afraid, I'm deaf, I'm just one person out of, millions of hearing people. But to show that, hey, I'm deaf and I can do this.
Concord has an interpreter to help Ben during his classes and practices.
In some ways, it's made me a better coach in that I'm more specific and more direct in the way I might communicate with all of our athletes.
His teammates are doing whatever they can to communicate with Ben. Some are even learning sign language.
They were kind of hesitant at first, it's awkward. They would get out whiteboards and, write with me and try to communicate with me, joke around with me, and I think that helped us become more of a close-knit family.
I don't think his deafness really changes anything. It's something he has, and, we're still friends, and we just deal with that the way it is.
When Ben competes, a light is placed in at the end of the pool and flashes when the race begins.
In swimming, you don't need to hear anything. We're all in the same competition.
His parents couldn't be any prouder and say this experience is preparing him for the future.
With Ben, he's done a wonderful job. I couldn't be more proud of him. Kind of encouraged him to think, how can I problem solve with the hearing people and the hearing community? It's good for him because, he can make those adaptations and, challenge himself.
Ben says that others in the deaf community shouldn't be afraid to leave their comfort zone.
Just try. It makes for a great success. If you're a competitive person, you just remember that you're a human and you have the strength to do it.
In Elkhart, Megan Smedley, 16 News Now.
Here at home, there's an Elkhart County cheerleader who sure knows how to rally a crowd. But as Megan Smedley explains, it's Jenna Singer's joy that makes her easy to root for.
Wasn't a day that went by that she didn't talk about cheering here at Fairfield.
Just by taking one look at Jenna Singer, you can tell how much she loves cheerleading.
The kids really respond to her, and she feeds off that. They feed off her. It's amazing.
When Jenna was in 8th grade, her friend from kindergarten helped get Jenna on the cheer squad.
And the girls loved her. She loved cheering for her peers. Her peers loved her. And so it was just a natural rollover when she became a freshman. I never would have thought it. Never.
For Jenna, her and cheerleading are a match made in heaven.
I like dance, my friends, and love my friends. I like cheer high school.
For Jenna, it was important she rocked the blue.
Jenna wanted to cheer for her school.
For her friends.
For her friends, with her friends.
The Fairfield community is one big family.
It's awesome to say that we are the Fairfield Falcons, and there's a lot of support for everybody. So everybody kind of just is one tight-knit group of students.
It's that community that has helped Jenna shine.
Seeing her as a little girl and how far she's come academically, how far she's come socially, the amount of practice and recall that to know your mark, be on where that is a lot. So, you know, juggling a full course load with the school and then doing extracurricular after, and she's tackled it.
Her parents say Jenna can inspire others.
This is real important for like a high school to have her on their team to show that the other girls could actually do that too, our boys.
And they are just beaming with pride.
If I had 2 words to describe her, it would be unbridled joy.
Cheering for the Falcons lets Jenna be her true self.
Jenna can be Jenna. You know, she's a very happy young lady. She does a great job. And just by being the kind and caring person that she is, that's what's inspiring, to be a young lady who is able to just put herself out there and be who she is.
And like everyone else on the team,
she's a Falcon, true blue.
In Goshen, Megan Smedley, 16 News Now. Student athletes have a lot on their plate in a normal year between schoolwork and their respective sport. Some choose to volunteer and some go above and beyond. Notre Dame defensive lineman Daelin Hayes is one of them, and in an off-season unlike any other, he took action.
I was having fun. I was having fun with the game. I was rediscovering my love for the game.
That fun came to an abrupt halt just 4 weeks into the season. Hayes suffered a torn labrum and was out for the year, but not his career.
I had more to give to this university and to this team.
More to give to the South Bend community, too. Hayes spent his time healing by volunteering in the South Bend schools. A shocking sight for students, since many have trouble believing they, too, can dream as big as Daelin.
There's little kids in our community, hundreds of them, hundreds of thousands of them, that will benefit from our leadership, our mentorship, our brotherhood, our empathy, our compassion, our representation.
And Hayes showed them there's always reason to believe.
God gave me another opportunity, another year to come back, to be involved in the community, to stand up for what was right with our team. Our team stood for social justice, and we continue to stand for that.
This summer, Hayes rose as a leader in Notre Dame's social justice movement, using his platform to give voice to the sobering reality he and many of his teammates face.
The fear that our parents feel when they send us out in the world and don't know if we're going to come back the same way they left us. To be murdered in broad daylight. These are the realities that our players, our students face. Far beyond when we take off a gold helmet, far beyond when we take off a Notre Dame monogram, we're still a black man.
Hayes was front and center at the Irish Juneteenth rally and march, a life-changing day for many.
I couldn't be more proud of the young men on our football team when they used that platform to speak in such a manner that it moved me even more to be able to learn more and educate myself.
And I promise you, myself, this team, this university, we stand with you. No longer will your voice be oppressed. We will use this platform. We will always stand up for what's right.
Now a campus leader, Hayes was named a captain.
It means everything. I don't know if there's ever been anything in my life that I've been more proud of.
He's done it on both, on the field and off the field, and that's why he's garnered so much respect from his peers, and that's why he's a captain.
The newly minted captain is thankful he was given another chance, and he's now stronger than ever.
I would have been broken. I would have been discouraged. Like it would have been too much, like for me to handle. But I relied on my brothers. I relied on my family. I relied on my coaches. I relied on my faith. And I stand before you today.
Daelin Hayes says he's actually grateful for last season's injury, saying that God turned it around into a magnificent victory. The Irish continue to speak out regarding social justice. Head coach Brian Kelly says the team has a few events planned soon.